BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Hey there, pigskin fanatics. I'm Bobby C for Sports NYC, and we couldn't think of a better place to start our football preview than right here in the birthplace of football, Canton, Ohio. I'm standing in front of the Pro Football Hall of Fame as it celebrates 50 years, and we've got a great show in store for you. On the program, we run into the Hall of Fame with Jets legend Curtis Martin. We'll also get a chance to preview the Giants and Jets' upcoming seasons. All that and more is coming up next, so keep it locked. This is Sports NYC. Broadcasting legend and fellow Football Hall of Famer himself, Chris Berman, may have said it best about Curtis Martin. Berman said Martin let his feet do the talking. And on Saturday night, Martin and his fleet-footed moves strut into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. The former New York Jets legend, one of the game's all-time greatest running backs, highlighted an enshrinement class of 6. Martin finished his storied career with exactly 100 touchdowns, scoring 37 for the New England Patriots and the final 63 for the Jets. In 2004, the former NFL Rookie of the Year became the oldest player, 31 years old, to win a rushing title, racking up 1,697 yards on the ground. The road to glory for the fourth leading rusher of all time certainly didn't come easy. Growing up in a rough section of Pittsburgh, Martin was surrounded by violence, even at home, where he had an abusive father.
My mother was dealing with so much hurt and pain, and I know that she had to take some of that out. Mom, I'm so grateful that I was there for you to even take some of that pain out on, because you deserve it.
Future Hall of Famer Kevin Mawai had a front row seat to Martin's greatness. He believes Martin's struggles in life made football easy.
There's just so many great memories with him, both in the locker room and off the field. But he's a good friend, a great teammate, and I'm just very happy for him right now.
Martin, like fellow Hall of Fame inductees Jack Butler and DeMonte Dawson, have a connection to the Steel City. Butler and Dawson starred for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Martin hit the NFL radar at the University of Pittsburgh.
Tremendous honor, to be able to say I attended the same school those guys did. Now I think we're third or fourth on the list of all-time Hall of Fame guys, and we got 2 more coming down the chute. With Darrell Revis and LaShawn McCoy. So, and hopefully in the next couple of years we get a couple more in.
In addition to Martin, Butler, and Dawson, New Orleans great Willie Roaf, Seattle stalwart Cortez Kennedy, and devastating pass rusher Chris Dolman all said they couldn't have reached Canton without the support of their families. Indeed, legends do live here in Canton, and Curtis Martin now has taken his place alongside some of the all-time greats like Walter Payton. Let's take a look back now at our latest Sports NYC on arguably the greatest Hall of Fame class of all time. I'm Bobby C, and the hallowed halls here in the birthplace of American football just got a little better, thanks to the induction of the Magnificent Seven. The NFL's all-time leading rusher and all-time leading receiver headlined arguably the greatest Pro Football Hall of Fame class of all time. The 2010 class, which included guard Russ Grimm, linebacker Ricky Jackson, cornerback Dick LeBeau, defensive tackle John Randall, and running back Floyd Little, along with the aforementioned Emmitt Smith and Jerry Rice, combined for 46 Pro Bowl appearances and won 10 of the 12 Super Bowls in which they played. Just call them the Magnificent Seven. Rice, who played 20 seasons in the NFL, most of them with San Francisco's greatest teams, said none of them topped Canton.
Standing here today as the newest member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, feeling like a rookie all over again, I can honestly say this is the greatest team I have ever belonged to.
Former 49ers wideout Terrell Owens praised Rice and talked about trying to replace a living legend during his time in San Francisco.
Seeing Jerry and knowing that this caps off his career, He's definitely had, you know, a remarkable career. I'm very fortunate and thankful to have played with him.
While Rice owned the air, Smith owned the ground game. The NFL's all-time leading rusher amassed 18,355 yards and the most rushing TDs in league history during a career that spanned from 1990 through 2004. He too won 3 Super Bowls and garnered a Super Bowl MVP award for the Dallas Cowboys in 1994. Smith didn't forget those who paved the way for his admission into the Hall of Fame, taking the time to recognize his fellow triplet teammates and the fullback who made sure Emmett had enough space to work his magic on the gridiron.
It has truly been an honor to go into battle with 2 of the greatest champions I've ever played with. Without you, there is no me. I love you, Daryl, from the bottom of my heart.
Smith's emotional speech played out like one of his performances on a Sunday afternoon back in the 1990s as he left the crowd of 19,300 at Canton's Fawcett Stadium wanting more.
I knew there was points in there that I was going to get extremely emotional about. Talking about my family, talking about Michael Troy, and especially Daryl Johnston. If I didn't get emotional talking about them, I would have felt like I was dead.
Nearly 700,000 people took part in 18 diverse events during the Hall of Fame festival over an 11-day period. And by the time it was all said and done, the list of Hall of Famers grew to 260. We chatted with one of the all-time greats, Gale Sayers, about the fraternity.
We have a fraternity of about 150 members. A lot of our members died over the last several years, but it's just nice to see those people and just be around them and interact with them.
It took LeBeau 52 years in the game, including the last 38 as a coach, to be part of the club. LeBeau, the defensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers, was truly humbled by the fact that the entire organization loaded 6 buses and drove to the Hall of Fame Saturday. Among the group was the Bronx's own Willie Colon, Pittsburgh's standout tackle. Randall dominated his era. The former Minnesota Viking recorded 137.5 sacks and route to 7 Pro Bowls. Jackson isn't far behind in the sack category either. The New Orleans linebacker finished his career with 128 and was named to 6 Pro Bowls. He lifted the Saints to their first division title in 1991. On the other side of the ball, Grimm helped the Washington Redskins to 4 Super Bowls, including 3 wins as a member of an offensive line that earned the nickname the Hogs. And then there was Little, who amassed more than 12,000 all-purpose yards on some grim Denver Bronco teams from 1967 through 1975, but Little shined a lot, saving the game of football in Denver by becoming a beacon of the sport on and off the field. It may have taken him a long time to find the Hall of Fame end zone, but when he did, he made the most of his celebration speech.
Because of those that encouraged me in those early years, I am here today. So I want to encourage you. Don't listen to the naysayer. I had plenty of those. Find the goodness in you that says, yes, I can be a good student. Yes, I can be a good son and daughter. Yes, I can be a positive role model. Yes, I can, because the good in you is better than the worst in most.
The inductions and the proverbial walk down memory lane gave many, including arguably the greatest wide receiver to ever play the game, a chance to cherish the moment one last time.
There are no more routes to run, no more touchdowns to score, no more records to set. Let me stand here and catch my breath. Let me inhale it all in one more time.
It has become a tradition for our BronxNet cameras to make the trip here to Canton, and there have been some special moments, maybe none better than Deion Sanders' speech last year at the Hall of Fame inductions. Check this out. Not surprising, the Hall saved the best for last on an emotional night for many of the game's all-time greats. Primetime came to Canton, do-rag and all. Sanders strutted into the Hall of Fame much the way he did during his 14-year career, sporting a pair of gold shoes, his gold jacket, and of course, the black do-rag that added to his legendary style and grace.
This game taught me how to be a man. This game taught me if I get knocked down, I gotta get my butt back up again. This game taught me that some things in life you can't do too prematurely. In football, they call it offsides. And life is just life. I am so privileged and so thankful to be amongst you.
We'll take a quick time out here on Sports NYC, but when we return, we'll have our Giant and Jet predictions for the upcoming season.
Hi, this is Mike Glover, a.k.a. Optimus Prime, Hoops in the Sun All-Star. You watching Sports NYC.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
We shift gears here on Sports NYC, and we move from the legends of Canton and the Pro Football Hall of Fame to the legends here in the Bronx on the football gridiron at Fordham University. We're here at Rose Hill, but first, before we talk Fordham football and their new coach and their upcoming season, we wanted to preview some NFL football here in New York. Here's a look at the Jets and their upcoming season. Check it out. The New York Jets' flight plan in the preseason has been slow off the ground. Head coach Rex Ryan had little answers for Saturday night's 26-3 final to the neighboring New York Giants, other than to tip his cap to the G-Men on an evening when Gang Green hosted Big Blue at MetLife with the coveted Snoopy Trophy on the line.
You know, it's football. It's 11-on-11 back there, and you have to improve fundamentally.
The Jets won the preseason battle last summer but have come up short in the last two meetings. With issues building on the offensive line, offense has been hard to come by for the Jets, who are still looking for their first preseason touchdown. Starting quarterback Mark Sanchez had an early interception and clearly hasn't been right, thanks largely to little or no time under center to get rid of the pigskin.
Rex said it too after the game. You know, it's the second preseason game. You know, it's not time to hit the panic button. You got to improve.
Backup QB Tim Tebow, a master of the option, performed a bit better in the second half, but his receivers, in particularly rookie Stephen Hill, who dropped a short touchdown, failed to get the offense in the scoring column.
It's a great opportunity. It's an exciting game, but ultimately it's a practice.
Giants kicker Lawrence Tynes had 4 field goals, but it was the Sanchez interception, which was returned for a 77-yard score, that helped the G-Men jump out to a 13-0 halftime lead, one they would not relinquish. Running back Sean Green, who totaled 36 yards on 11 carries, said the Jets have plenty of time to work things out and get rolling before the September 9th season opener at home against the Buffalo Bills. I know you have to feel good about this team. You guys have been very successful the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I said, it's preseason. You know, we still got some work to do before we get to the real thing, and you know, I'm pretty confident we're going to do well.
The New York Giants have found a running back that is on the move. We go inside the locker room for an opportunity to catch up with the newest first-round draft pick of the New York Giants. Giants flashed a dominating aerial attack during last season's Super Bowl run. Now, the organization is hoping to add an improved ground game to the team's arsenal and title defense this year. Enter first-round pick David Wilson. With the free agency departure of bruising running back Brandon Jacobs in the offseason, Big Blue revamped their running game with the 21-year-old Wilson, the 2011 ACC Player of the Year, who is expected to provide a new and different complement to starter Ahmad Bradshaw.
We're going to try to be a balanced attack, and we're going to try to run the ball. We got to throw the ball. It just seems like we got to avoid the bad plays. And overall, if we can just stay in good down distance and good rhythm, we can be very successful.
The 5'9", 205-pound Wilson saw extended time with Bradshaw resting a bruised hand and last Friday's preseason loss to the Chicago Bears, and he delivered, rushing for 49 yards on 5 carries, along with 26 yards on 2 receptions. The Virginia Tech standout was the top performer in the vertical and broad jumps in the combine. He has all the makings of a future star in the NFL.
I'm working to make a big impact on this team as far as the rushing game and as a running back, period.
It's a good thing when you got a back like him and a player like him that, every time he touches the ball, it can be a big play. He has that capability. So it's going to be fun watching him play this year, and hopefully he continues to get better.
Following an impressive overall preseason, the athletic Wilson will now try and get the defending champion Giants rolling in next Wednesday night's season opener against rival Dallas.
I think every player that's coming in should want to be the starter at their position. That makes everybody around you work harder and everybody get better. So you got to come in with that mentality, and that's the mentality I have.
Welcome back to Sports NYC. A very special treat here at Rose Hill as Fordham football gets off to a terrific start. Guys 1-0. Mike Watts, Alex Smith, Mac Rosenberg, the holy trinity of Fordham football here tonight. Fellas, what did you see in tonight's victory?
Outstanding offense. They ran 82 plays offensively, exactly what they were looking to do. And defensively, very strong in the first half, gave up a few big plays, but otherwise very, very well-played game all the way around for the Rams.
Alex, you got a chance to call the play-by-play tonight. The first evening for a new coach here at Rose Hill and a victory.
Yeah, it's his first victory here with Fordham. It's Fordham's 750th victory overall, so that's a proud moment both for Joe Moorhead and for Fordham. But, I called play-by-play. It was kind of tough. I was trying to catch my breath because that offense was just going so fast. Mike mentioned the 81 plays. It was an exciting night. It was a fun night and a good atmosphere here at Rose Hill.
Mac, as soon as the game is over, you talked to Coach about the victory. What was his thoughts about his quarterback and his offense? They scored a lot tonight and back-to-back.
Well, Bobby, we talked about it. The thing that Coach told me was that, first of all, I asked him, would you be surprised if I told you before the game you see, your running backs rushing for 3 touchdowns? And he said, well, a little bit, but not really, because this is the type of stuff that, I told people we were going to be doing. So, I'm not incredibly surprised. Michael Niebrick going to be a part of this game. He comes in situational type of plays where he's just going to be running into that end zone. He said in the post-game press conference, he felt kind of weird when he ran in for that first touchdown because his first play was, 4 or 5 yard line. He runs it right in, but really the offense was firing on all cylinders with Higgins and then Niebrick.
We take a timeout as we catch up with the radio team here from WFUV and go back inside the locker room for a chance to catch up with Coach Moorhead and the Stars offensively tonight for Fordham football.
It's good, you get the opportunity to, develop some depth and get the second team guys some time because those guys, sometimes it's, a lot of work goes into it in preseason preparation and, there's very few repetitions for them during the week in practice and, they work just as hard as a starter. So it's good to be able to reward those guys with some playing time, throughout the game, and eventually one of those guys is going to end up being a 1 or 2, or they have to be prepared.
From the schematic standpoint, Coach Moorhead is one of the best. I feel like, really, he really knows his stuff. So we all bought into it, and we just executing. He gets everybody to play 100%. So I feel that, it's just great. His enthusiasm, what he brings, it means a lot.
Throwing the ball. I think we executed the game plan at home. Not perfectly. Obviously there's some things to clean up, but I think we definitely played pretty well.
Honestly, I kind of felt it was a little weird for me because I didn't really feel like I did anything in the drive. Punching it in, I feel like I stole something from CJ. But,
sorry, bro.
It was a cool feeling getting that first touchdown in, but like I said, I kind of feel like I took it from CJ, but he'll have his chances later.
Welcome back to Sports NYC. Coach Moorhead tonight, very excited about the win. He gets the game ball, Mac. For you, what were your thoughts about his performance on the sidelines?
Coach Moorhead, I was told about halfway through this game, Alex mentioned it on the air, that he is known to be an energy type of guy. They were both talking about, Alex and Mike, both mentioning that, he's such an energized guy on the sideline. it didn't really appear that way to me. He seemed like he wasn't walking very fast when the team was moving down the field. He was making his way down there, but really, he wasn't fiery. He was just doing his job out there, which is what I really liked about him. The energy translated to the players, and that's where it needs to be. All the players were really hyped up going into this game, especially when Patrick Murray nailed that 52-yarder, longest in school history, early in the second half. That was huge for this team. That kind of said, okay, we pretty much got this game now, and a record-setting night for him. It was really just a great performance all around.
Does this victory dampened by the fact that the visitors, of course, a bad record coming in?
Not necessarily. I think it's important that you get off to a good start. I think everyone was excited coming into the game, mainly because of Coach Moorhead, but there's renewed energy, and you go into a game against Villanova, who's a very strong team, has been for a long time, and you hope that maybe they can make the next step after going 1-10 last year, and one down already. Everything's up from here.
Patrick Murray, a preseason All-American. How good could he be? Is he a future NFL guy?
I think he definitely has a shot. When you look at his resume, he's an all Patriot League performer coming into this season. He can do multiple things, too. He was a place kicker. We saw with that 52-yarder. Punted for over 2,100 yards last year, averaged 44 yards per punt. So he can do a lot of different things. It's not too often that a punter is really the guy on your team that kind of brings a lot of attention to. But I think Patrick Murray is just that good.
We're going to take a quick time out here on Sports NYC. It was great to have the guys here at Rose Hill, and we're hoping that the Rams will provide many more victories throughout the season. We'll take a quick time out. Stay with us here on Sports NYC.
Packers. Vikings. Packers. Vikings.
Vikings. Red state. Blue state. Vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown. Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities, our families,
united.
Even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Is certainly winding down here in New York, but before it is over, we wanted to take a quick look back at one of the highlights of the summer, the Midsummer Classic. This is Bobby C. reporting from Kauffman Stadium, and for one night in July, Kansas City was a National League kind of town. Aside from Prince Fielder's win for the American League in Monday's Home Run Derby, the All-Star break wasn't as memorable for the New York Yankees' 3 All-Stars and the American League, which was shut out for the first time since 1996 in an 8-0 National League blowout on AL turf Tuesday night in the city of Fountains. Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, and Curtis Granderson win a combined 2 for 6, while injured A.C.C. Sabathia remained sidelined for the Midsummer Classic. Instead, a former Yankee who spent last season in KC stole the spotlight. Melky Cabrera, who donned the pinstripes from 2005 to 2009, was named All-Star Game Most Valuable Player. The switch-hitting first-time All-Star went 2 for 3 with 2 RBI, leading the senior circuit to its 3rd straight All-Star Game victory. He's come a long way from his days in the Bronx.
I can't complain about the Yankees. They gave me an opportunity to play, and I just have concentrated on my career. I'm very happy to be with San Francisco.
The NL scored 5 runs in the first and never looked back, adding 3 in the fourth while limiting the American Leaguers to 6 hits on the evening. With home field advantage come October on the line, the World Series will start in the city of the National League champ for the 3rd straight year. Something that won't bother Mets hurler R.A. Dickey one bit.
Well, it's nice to claim home field advantage. Hopefully that's applicable to our season. For me personally, it was just the culmination of a fantastic first half, and I'm hoping to build off the momentum and carry it over in the second half.
With no catchers on the roster familiar with the knuckleball, Dickey, who shares the Major League lead with 12 wins in the first half, was passed up for the All-Star start. Nevertheless, he pitched a scoreless inning, joining teammate David Wright on the winning side.
It's great. I think that, RA and I tried to go out there and represent the Mets well. Ultimately, we didn't do too much that stood out, but, we won the game, and that's the important thing.
The 83rd All-Star Game was the last for Atlanta Braves future Hall of Famer Chipper Jones, and the first for a pair of teen sensations.
It's a special night, one I won't forget.
From one legend to the future of the game, this year's Midsummer Classic was all about passing the torch. 19-year-old Bryce Harper and 20-year-old Mike Trout, 2 of the game's premier rookies, were making their first All-Star appearances.
Having a chance to come in the league so young and to be here with Harper and and just bringing the young talent. I think it's the youngest rookie class, or the most rookies we had, and just to bring a different meaning to the game. Just bringing it back. The hustle and the fun, and just being out there and just happy we had the opportunity to play. It's been pretty amazing.
It's almost about that time here on Sports NYC. We're nearly up against it on the program. Last time on the show, we posed the question. We talked a little NBA basketball. We asked you guys who you thought would be better, the Knicks or the Nets. I reserved my opinions until this show, and I wanted to tell everybody at home that I think the Nets starting five has a chance to be better than the Knicks, but I see both teams making the playoffs, and ultimately I see the Knicks having a slightly better record than the Brooklyn Nets in this upcoming season. However, it will be a battle for New York now with two NBA teams. This time on the show, we wanted to pose a brand new question to those at home that are watching, and of course it centers around Fordham football. In Arizona, John Skelton, who was a star here at Fordham, has a chance to win the job over Kevin Cobb. Your thoughts? Who will be the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals? Who will win the job long term, Kevin Cobb or John Skelton? Let's take a quick look back at the Hall of Fame game John Skelton starred for the Arizona Cardinals. With the labor strife from a year ago long in the distance, the Hall of Fame game returned to Canton Sunday night, and the town and the rest of the NFL world couldn't be happier. The New Orleans Saints and the Arizona Cardinals kick-started the National Football League's preseason 1 year after the game was canceled. In his only series, Saints quarterback Drew Brees engineered a touchdown on the game's first drive, which was capped by a 1-yard run at the goal line by Mark Ingram. The Saints offense added 10 second quarter points and never looked back, winning 17-10. Arizona's QB Kevin Cobb struggled in his preseason debut, paving the way for former Fordham signal caller John Skelton. Skelton, who could win the job in Arizona, went 4 of 6 for 32 yards. Brees was impressed by Skelton.
It's always, preseason, obviously you're shuffling in quarterbacks in and out quite a bit, so it's hard to get in a rhythm sometimes, but the times that I've seen him, I've been impressed.
Skelton was joined by brother Steve Skelton on a night when two former Bronx stars, Steve Skelton, a tight end looking to catch on with the Cards, was the third leading receiver with 2 catches and 35 yards. Although Arizona, 4 years removed from Super Sunday, couldn't muster much offense, 6-time Pro Bowler Larry Fitzgerald expects big things from the Cardinals this season. He was disappointed with the results Sunday night, but said there's a long way to go before the real season opens.
So we still have a lot of work to do, but we're encouraged by the progress.
And Brees believes the strong start in Canton is the beginning of more to come.
That's something that obviously we've known is coming, so we've been preparing for it and look forward to that challenge, that opportunity.
Bronx sports fans, who's it going to be? Kevin Cobb or John Skelton in Arizona? We want to hear from you once again. Hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/sportsnyc or share your thoughts and opinions on Twitter at The Voice Bobby C. I'll have my opinions next time on the show. That's all the time we have here on Sports NYC. Until next time, remember, stay 5 boroughs strong, stay Bronx strong. We'll see you next time.